What's good, YouTube? Swiftly back with another episode of Rare Builds in NBA 2K25. As always, I'm asking you guys to slap a like, on the video. Helps the channel to grow. But with that being said, let's jump straight into the build. Obviously, this is a newer build that we are seeing in NBA 2K25, the 3-level scoring point center, which is just a crazy ass build name to have. 3-level scoring point center. I like the name of that, man. So with that being said, let's jump into it. We're obviously going to have to make this build at the center position, obviously, because if you want the point center name, got to make a center, otherwise it's going to come out as something else. For height, I went all the way down to 6'7". I went 230 on the weight, and then I went 6'10 on the wingspan. Obviously, you could tweak this to your liking. This is just a template so you guys can get the name 3-level scoring point center. And these are the attributes that I went with. I went 87 on the close shot. I went 75 on the layup. I left the driving dunk along with the standing dunk. I think I have like a 26, 27 because that was just points I had left over. Then I went 90 on the post control, which is kind of interesting, I know. But you are a center, and when you get that matchup against somebody, you can still abuse them. Obviously, you're going to have to be, conservative with how you go up with stuff in the paint, because they're probably going to have a couple inches on you as far as height. If you're matched up against somebody that's 6'10", 6'11", which is what I see, like most centers are like 6'11", 7 feet. I don't really see many 7'1", 7'2", 7'3s this year. It's mostly like 7'1", 7-footers, 7'1" being the max. I've seen a couple 7-footers. I'm seeing a lot of 6'11s this year just because of how the builder works. So, the height isn't going to be too detrimental. It's not going to be too much of a disadvantage as long as you know how to, play well, when to go up with stuff. So that's why I went with a 90 on the post control, because you really can't cook up this year with those post badges like post powerhouse and post up poet and stuff. So we got a 90 post control. We have an 87 midi, and then we have an 85 3-ball. And what that's going to do is that's going to unlock some badges for us, so we will be able to space the floor. You'll be able to work inside. You got close shot, you got driving layup, you got post control, obviously. But that's going to be able to let you cook down low in the post. But also, you'll be able to cook up in the midi with posting up and whatnot. Because you're going to have gold post fade phenom as well, too. So keep that in mind. You'll be able to cook up in the post and whatnot. And the best thing about this as well is because of the caps, you see our midis at like 94, and then our post control caps are at 94. You will be able to use your cap breakers to up that and get like Hall of Fame post fade phenom and go crazy, in the midi and whatnot. So do remember, you can't make this build just that much better in the post. Now, moving on to playmaking, we are going to go with an 87 on the pass accuracy, and then we're going to go with an 86, so we get that silver ankle assassin. And then we're going 70 with the speed with ball. Now, obviously, you're at the center position, so you're going to be getting guarded by big men, especially in the rec. So most bigs are not going to be able to keep up with you on the perimeter. Yeah, they got a little bit better defense on the perimeter and whatnot this year, but you're going to be able to ISO and cook up with a build like this. And even if you raise the height, you should still be able to get around an 80 plus ball handle, if you build your build properly. So even at 6'8", even 6'9"-ish, you'll still be able to cook up. But at 6'7", you still got really good ball handle and passing and speed with ball to really make people's job hard on the perimeter. And if you know anything about rec, centers do not like coming out of the paint. These bigs just want to sit in the paint, and you're going to make them pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make them pay for it because you got an 85 3-ball and an 87 mid-range. And then when they do step on you, they step up, they come out that paint, you now have an 87 pass accuracy and an 86 ball handle to go to work on the perimeter when they do try to step out on you. So do keep that in mind. You will be able to just abuse them offensively. Now, I know people are saying like, oh man, defensively is going to be a nightmare, but we're going to have some decent stats defensively. We're going to have a 79 interior. We're going to have a 75 perimeter defense. We're going to have an 85 steal, and then we're also going to have a 65 block. Now, I know on first glance this doesn't seem like much, but 79, 80, interior defense is enough to force people to miss. especially if you're getting good contests. You know when to jump and when to play hands up defense. 85 steal, you're going to be able to pluck shit on the perimeter, and you'll be able to play the passing lanes like a goddamn demon with an 85 steal and goal interceptor. Now, keep in mind, you are getting matched up against centers. Most centers are not running around with an 86 ball handle and silver unpluckable. Most centers are going to have maybe bronze unpluckable at best. They might have gold if they go crazy on the post control, but I'm not seeing a lot of post scores like that. Unless you're on a one score, you're not going to be running into very many post players in the rec. So, for rec players, this build is going to be fine. As far as defense goes, you're going to be able to play on the perimeter as well too, and you'll be able to get some steals. Blocks not so much, but your main goal is to make them miss. You don't need to get a block to make people miss, even though it's nice to get blocks and snatch blocks and whatnot like that. You can still play some fairly good defense. Me personally, I have a 6'3" point guard, and I've been getting like blocks and shit on the perimeter with no block, like 25 block. So I imagine with a 65 block, if you have decent timing, you can still get blocks in the game. And I kind of like that this year about defense. Even if you don't have super great stats, you can still get steals, reach and still get a steals. If you can time it, you can still jump and get a block even though you don't have a crazy high block and whatnot. I like that about this year because it rewards actual players who play good defense. Moving on, we have the rebounding, which we're going with an 80. Can't really get much higher than that because of our size. We can max out at an 83, so I just went with an 80 because you got to go all the way up to a 92 to get something better than that. So it makes no sense to go up any higher than that. 80 will get us silver rebound chaser and those rebounding chaser animations with the badge. So we'll cap out at 80. And then finally, we have our physicals. I went with a 75 speed and 80 agility. And then for the strength, we went 75 on the strength. And then I think we have a 46 vert, which isn't that, it wasn't that great, you know what I'm saying? But we do have a 75 strength, giving us physical finisher. We have silver box out, beast, gold, strong handle, and then we have these badges all bronze. Post powerhouse, post lockdown, movable enforcer, and brick wall, just all making us better on the defensive side of things. Like I said, this build isn't going to be, crazy defensively. It's a 3-level scoring point center, and it does that. You're going to be able to play point at center with this build. You're going to be able to pass. You'll be able to ball, handle the ball if you want to run the offense. If you feel like you are a better offensive, orchestrator, you're a better passer than your guard, you now can run the point if you need to because you have the ball handle and the pass accuracy to do such things. You also have good shooting to space the floor as well too, and then you got a little bit of finishing to cook up in the post down low, get some layups or whatever. You have offense, you know what I'm saying, at all 3 levels, and you're still a point center. So basically, this build it's alright. It's not going to be great defensively, but I think if you're a good player, you can make it work, especially if you tweak some minor things. Maybe make your height 6'8" instead of 6'7" or 6'9" if you want to go that tall, but that's just what I went with. Then, of course, you see our shades up. We see Naz Reid. We see Bam Adebayo. And, of course, Wes Unseld. And then, of course, we see our build name, which is the 3-level scoring point center. So there you have it. This is my 3-level scoring post center, point center build, for NBA 2K25. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K25 content. I'm out, y'all. Peace.